Good morning, evening, or afternoon. I am the Mainly Digger, and today's video is about Garrett. Not just Garrett. Garrett versus Garrett. My Ace 150 versus my AT Pro. I mean, obviously the AT Pro is the more advanced detector, but since I've been using my Ace more because I'm still waiting on the battery cap, I've gotten a better appreciation of the Ace 150. The Ace 150 by far is the more simpler system. I would call it an amateur system, but at the same time, I was just thinking of in the past, because I've used them for about the same time. So, and I'm not going to do depth or any air tests because I'm going on what I found with these detectors. And obviously the AT Pro is more versatile. It goes in everywhere. You can take it everywhere. But the Ace 150 you can pretty much take everywhere except you can't submerge it. That's pretty much the only difference. And before we start this video, this is the last thing I'll interrupt your viewing, is I often have to remind myself metal detecting is about getting out. It's about having fun. It doesn't matter what metal detector you have, as long as you have a metal detector to get out. It's about enjoying what's out there, enjoying history, looking into history, research, going to lakes, going to ponds, going to parks, just being outside. And that's the most important part. Finding stuff is fun. Like, finding stuff is the ultimate objective. Finding cool stuff, I'll say finding cool stuff is the ultimate objective. But it's the experience of getting out. It's the story behind the objects. It's the story that you're gonna tell 100 times to 100 different people. Your family's gonna get sick of hearing the same story over. It's that experience that you're looking for. Not necessarily the metal detector that you have or what you find, it's the story. I'm a competitive person, and the only person I'm really competing with is myself. I'll stop talking, watch my video, Mainly Digger. So I'm going to start off with the Ace 150. The 150 is the simplest model out of the Ace series. It's simple. You just pick it up, and as long as you have enough batteries, it will go. It takes 4 batteries, and they're easy to change. If you want to have a headset, you don't need to put an attachment onto the Ace 150. You just plug it in. It's simple. Just recently, I literally picked this up out of the back of my trunk where it had sat for at least 6 months through the winter, and the batteries still work. I'm still using it on the same batteries that I put in it 6 months ago. So a little bit of history with me and the Ace 150. It was actually my second metal detector. The first metal detector I had was a Bounty Hunter Trekker 4, which I still love, and is like my backup to the backup. But the Ace 150, I needed something new for the property I was detecting, which is the Kennedy Estate, as I called it. I needed a better metal detector. I was finding a lot of square nails and square nails are cool. I wanted to find other stuff. I wanted to find Civil War bullets, which I didn't find. So I got this detector for Christmas. It came in January when it wasn't snowing. Like, I thought it was done. The snow was done. And then in February, it snowed. What I'm getting at is this detector is it's good for any wet conditions, as long as you don't submerge it in water. So rain, dry, any temperature, this detector is good and it works in. The elements have a different effect on this detector, or at least the one that I have, and you have to learn how to work with those different effects in those conditions. So I'm going to go over relics that I've found with this detector. Garrett's they find coins like no other, and I'll cover that later. But this is It's an ashtray from a beer company that is no longer around. I found it on the Kennedy estate. It's just a cool design, and it was all crumpled up. And I uncrumpled it, and this is the photo. I think I touched it up a little. I put a filter on it, but it was just a cool photo. And these are some chisels, quarry from a quarry next to the Kennedy estate on the property. I don't know how old they are, but it's just like they were iron objects, and the sound was a solid sound. So I dug it, and this is what I found. I think this was one of my first coins that I found at the Kennedy Estates. It's a transitional penny. I had no idea what it was. It kind of set off another interest in coins, but this is maybe the first coin that I found with the Garrett, and it's just cool. And this is the first war nickel. This is either the first coin or second coin that I found with the Garrett, but this is the first war nickel that I found. And either found it on Easter or St. Patrick's Day. Anyway, I was so excited that I found an old coin. Just so excited. I didn't even know it was a war nickel. Someone brought it up on YouTube, then I looked into that too. But I was so excited I found an old coin. And this is a christening cup that I found. I bring this one in because I found this one with the Ace 150, and it is. Because someone said, I don't know on what forum I was looking, that an Ace 150 can find coins. It was more of a coin hunting metal detector, and I beg to differ. It's not. I found a relic. I forgot how deep it was, but it was pretty deep. It's an amazing piece of history that I found. And I was glad I could prove that person wrong. So I came back to Maine, and I find this horseshoe, it's an older horseshoe because it's thinner, but it's like one of my first finds in Maine in a field with the Ace 150. It's kind of a bad picture. I couldn't find a good picture, but I found my first button with the Ace 150. I don't know how old it is. It was in my backyard. The lipstick case from the 40s, also found in my backyard. I have no idea what this is. It's a random thing I found in my backyard. Razor from the 40s, early, maybe. I forgot exact dates. Found in my backyard. So the jewelry that I found with the Ace, I'm going to cover. I found the Lord of the Rings ring in my sister-in-law's backyard, which was 10 karat gold, 10 or 14 karat gold. This is really zoomed in and blurry. My apologies. This is costume jewelry that I found either before or after the Lord of the Rings ring. It's just costume jewelry. I still have it. It's cool. Sorry, another blurry photo. This is before my new phone that I had. My new phone obviously takes better pictures, and it's probably operator error. Anyway, this I found it on the quarry trails in the parking lot where I found a whole bunch of coins, and then I found this. So I think it's either like an earring or something small. It was very small, but I found it. And now we go into coins. So like I stated before, you're going to find a bunch of coins. So these are the coins, older coins that I found with the Ace 150. Also, when I started finding older coins is when I transitioned to the AT Pro. So I had to go back and look at the videos and see which coins were which. So I had to do a lot of research for this. So this coin, I think it's from 1928. I think it's the first wheat cent I found in my yard, and I kind of put it off because it was crusty, and my wife she cleaned it off because she wanted to know what year it was. And so those are my wife's fingertips in there. She sent me this picture and got all excited about it. But this definitely was found with Ace 150. And one of the 3 Indian head pennies that I found in my yard was found with the Ace 150. I forgot which one it was, but I definitely know I found an Indian head penny with it. I bring these 2 pennies up because they were fairly deep, and to say that the Ace 150 doesn't go
deep enough is not correct. You need to. It's all on the operator. At this point, I had been using the Ace 150 for over, I'd say, 8 months, so I knew the difference between a deep target, a shallow target, nickel, and what's trash. So it all depends on the operator is what I'm getting at.
The AT Pro is by far, obviously, the better metal detector. I bought it because I wanted to go underwater with it. I wanted to submerge it. And it's good up to 10 feet. It's an amazing machine. It really is. I'm going to start off with what I do not like about this machine, and it's very little, is you need an attachment for, if you do not have an underwater headset, you need an attachment for that headset. I decided to use an attachment, and it was annoying because all you had was, it was just annoying. It's just me. I don't know. I didn't like it. That's the only thing I do not like about this machine. It's petty, but only thing I don't like about it. Another issue, and it's more of a me thing, is the ground balancing. I always forget to ground balance when I go from different soils or different terrains. Always forget to ground balance. Really the only issue, and it's a me thing. I would suggest getting headphones with this metal detector because it is loud, especially if you're going, I mean, if you're out in the woods or in the field, no one cares. But like, if you're doing anything urban or around houses, it does make a lot of noise. People notice it. It's a noise that the noises are noises that people notice. I love my squirrel. This is a squirrel that I found. I will also say this: determining what is trash and what is not using the AT Pro is easier, way more easier. But you need to learn how to use the machine. The Ace 150 you can pick up and figure it out. And there's details that you learn later and that make life detecting easy. The AT Pro, you are constantly learning something new. And if you're not learning something new, you're just finding junk. I'm still learning, and I've had it for over a year. YouTube, I look at the Garrett sites or the forums or whatever, and I'm still learning things about the AT Pro. So going from an Ace 150 to an AT Pro to back to an Ace 150, what I've learned is that the pinpoint option on the AT Pro is completely worth the price you pay. You can do it manually with the Ace 150, and still, you're still going to pinpoint it. You're going to find it, but the pinpoint option, having it as a button, it saves you so much time. It's a great feature. So I'm going to bring this key up as an example of the pinpoint feature. This key was over 12 inches in the ground, right around 12 inches in the ground. And using the pinpoint option, I located the general area and had it up within like 3 minutes. And that was over a foot, or a foot to over a foot in the ground. Amazing option. Here's a lighter I just recently found. And I am using this as an example of how once you learn the numbers and the sounds, the trick is to learn the sounds and the numbers. You will find better things. You will find better objects. You'll find what foil sounds like and what a nickel sounds like, or something that is made of nickel. And it's a learning curve. It's a learning process with the AT Pro. This is a nickel from, I think it's the 1940s. This is pre-war nickel. I bring this up because this is one of those things that I wouldn't have dug it at all. I thought it was going to be trash, and it wasn't. It wasn't trash at all. So I dug it just because it had an odd noise, an odd sound to it. Now I'm going to bring up the 1911 V nickel that my daughter found. She used the detector for less than 5 minutes. She used the AT Pro for less than 5 minutes,
never used it before. Went to a spot where I've only dug like penny nails out of, and I try to avoid, and she finds this V-nickel. I gave her like a 3-minute class, instruction, and just so she can try it, because she wanted to try it, and she finds a V-nickel, and that's all, like, that was like over a month ago, and she's still talking smack. And my point is, sometimes luck is luck, and sometimes you're in the right spot in the right time, and you dig what you dig. I mentioned the Indian head pennies. I found 3 in my yard, 1 with the Ace 150 and 2 with the AT Pro. The AT Pro, they were both at night, but like dark, and I was like, oh, I'm almost done, and I found one, and then I found the other. It took a while. Anyway, so they were both buried deep, very, very deep, and I was still learning how to use the AT Pro. So the Standing Liberty recorder I found with my AT Pro, I've told this story 100 times, but my kids can tell it. My 4-year-old could tell this story. My 9-year-old just rolls her eyes at me, but it's an amazing find. So now we're going to cover jewelry. I'm skipping over relics I found with the AT Pro because there's a lot, and I just don't want to cover it. I either don't have the pictures, or if you want to look at the relics, go check out my videos. There we go. I'll end it on that. Anyway, the jewelry I haven't found a lot of jewelry, but I have found jewelry with the AT Pro. This is a sterling silver earring I found in a state park in Maine. It's quartz. The stone is quartz, smoky quartz, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it's silver, and my wife has it now as a pendant because she claimed it. So it's just interesting. It was my first, jewelry that I found with the AT Pro. This I just found at a public park in Belgrade, Oakland, Belgrade area. I don't know if it was a ring. It was broken. I don't know if it was a ring or an earring, but it tested for that it was sterling silver. And I had the AT Pro with me when I found this. This was a surface find on a soccer field. If I could find the owner, because I guaranteed it, some little kid, someone's daughter, niece, or whoever lost the ring, and I feel bad, but it was a surface find. I had the AT Pro on me. This is a ring I just found yesterday at the Victor Grange, in the same area that I found my Mercury dime. I found the ring with the Ace 150 and the dime with the AT Pro in the same area. So it means I missed it with the AT Pro. Like, it was in the exact same area. I bring this up because you can have the best detector and still miss things, either, because of frost heaves, or you're like the day that I was digging the Mercury dime, it was cold, and I was like, okay, I'm done digging, or I'm done digging this spot. So laziness is what I'm getting at, the operator error. So it depends. A lot of it depends on the operator. They're both great machines, both great machines, and any real metal detector it does its job. As long as it detects metal, it depends on the operator how to figure it out, how to make it work for the task and situation that you're trying to do.
So concluding my video, a lot of great finds throughout the 2 years, 2.5, however long I've had the Garretts. They're both great machines. The only reason why I bought the AT Pro is to go underwater with it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're looking to buying a Garrett, it's a great company. I would suggest buy any metal detector that is in your price range and you feel like it's about the sport or the hobby. It's not about the metal detector. It's not about having the most expensive gear or the most top of the line gear. It's about getting out, enjoying life outdoors and enjoying history, bringing back relics or bringing back coins to talk about or to learn about. It's an educational hobby. And that's why I love it. I'll stop talking. You enjoy your weekend. Stay healthy, mainly dig out.